Welcome to the answers for the grade 7 fraction quiz. I'm going to go through the definitions here quickly, and then I'll go to the next slide for reducing the fractions for lowest terms. Define the following terms. Fraction. Fraction represents parts of a whole, usually a value less than 1. Numerator is the number on top of a fraction, indicates how many parts are present. Denominator. Denominator, number on the bottom of a fraction, indicates how many sections make up a whole. Alright, moving on to the next version, or the next questions about reducing lowest terms. Alright, reducing fractions to their lowest terms. I look to see what I can divide both the top number by and the bottom number by. I'm just going to show the final answers here. If you do not have the correct answers, you need to show your work for the correct answers. Question 1, 4 over 12. By the way, I apologize for the numbers kind of being slightly askew. When I imported them in, I didn't like it that much. But on your test it says 4 over 12 is equal to 1/3. 3 over 9 is equal to 1/3. Oh, 4 over 12, 3 over 9, also equivalent fractions. 36 over 48 reduces down to 3 over 4. Speaking of equivalent fractions, we're going to move on to creating two equivalent fractions for each fraction. There are more answers than the ones I have, but I will do a first 3 or 4 here. So 1 of the 3 is the same as 2 over 6, is the same as 3 over 9, is the same as 4 over 12, is the same as 5 over 15. And there are more if you kept going up. But I'm assuming that these will be mostly the numbers that you have created. Same for 3 over 6. I'm going to jump down one. It's actually the same as 1 over 2, 2 over 4, 3 over 6 again, 4 over 8, 5 over 10, and what am I looking at? 6 over 12. Okay, and it keeps going up and up and up. But again, I'm assuming that those are the most common ones that you've created. Alright, going to the next page. Alright, again, Mr.Langstraat forgot to write the mixed numbers in properly, but we did write them on the board, and this was supposed to be 2 and 3/8, and this one was supposed to be 1 and 4/9. Okay, so convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. That's all I'm asking you to do. So 8 and 2/3 is... Sorry. 2 and 3/8 is the same as 19 over 8, and 1 and 4/9 is the same as 13 over 9. Okay? Alright, moving on down to the improper fractions into mixed numbers. Alright, 23/10 is the same as 2 and 3/10, and 14/11 is the same as 1 and 3/11. Alright, we're really cruising here. Keep moving down to creating common denominators for each group of fractions. Alright. The first one was the easy one, so the common denominator is going to be 12. And 3/4 is the same as 9/12. And the second fraction stays the same at 2/12. I did not ask you to add or subtract, so you don't need to do that. This one's a harder one because you have to actually multiply each other. So 1/2 is the same as 3/6. And 2/3 is the same as 4/6. You did not need to add or subtract or multiply these ones. Move on to the second ones. Now we're adding the following fractions together. 2/6 plus 2/12 is 6/12, which you then have to reduce to 1/2. Alright, I've lost the bottom numbers on this. Just give me a second. When you add 1/3 and 3/8 together, you get 17/24. Alright, go on to the next page here. Okay, so now Mr. Langstraat awkwardly didn't write in the right sign. This should be a minus sign. This should be a minus sign as well. You can hear the grade 1-2 singing in the background. My apologies, I'm doing this in the library. Alright, the answers are is 2/12, which you need to reduce down to 1/6, and once you convert it, it equals 1/24 for question 2. You should have looked up to the previous ones because I think I asked you to do the conversions already, so you didn't actually have to do that much to get the answer to this question. Alright, pictorially what's happening, we create common denominators, solve an addition question with fractions. Alright, now the final answer should have looked like 2 circles or 2 squares. I'll draw squares because that's usually the easiest for me. There's 1/3. There's 1/2. In an ideal world, they'd be the same size. This one is 1/3, and this one's 1/2. Okay. The red indicates that I need to cut each of these 3 in half, so I have the equal number of slices, right? And then on the other side, the same, and then I'm going to add those slices together. So in here, I had 1/3 of them together. And on this side, I had 1/2, which would be these ones. Okay, and how many altogether out of 6 total? Out of 6 total, I would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer would have been 5/6. Okay, this one would have been solved much easier if you'd drawn a picture, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So, Noah had a birthday party and 4/7 of the cake was eaten. This all indicates the cake, and 4 sections were eaten. There's just 3 left over. That night, Mr.Langstraat ate half of the remaining cake, which we talked about in class. It means out of these 3 sections left over here, Mr.Langstraat ate half of that. Now, to get half of that, you think about it as eating half of each of the slices, or cutting what's remaining in half. Okay, I'm going to talk about the first one here. So, I cut these slices in half. Now, if you do it to one, you have to do it to the rest. I'm going to cut the rest of these ones in half as well. Okay, now, out of those remaining over here, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 slices. And Mr. Langstraat ate half of those slices, which means he would have eaten 3 of them. Which means how many slices were left over? So that's got 1 slice, 2 slices, 3 slices. So I had 3 slices left over. How many slices of the cake though total now? Now I have to count all of the pieces. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 slices, which means there were 3/14 left. Thank you. If you had a mistake, you need to go back and show the work to correct it. Okay, if you need some assistance, you ask Mr. Langstraat.